Can you, this drag queen recruiting initiative, is that strictly a Navy project? Or are you going to have the other services also get involved? Is there going to be an Army drag queen, Air Force drag queen, that sort of thing?
The U.S. military is facing a crisis that threatens our national security. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has just ordered an emergency review of military standards after a shocking Pentagon report. Before we get too far in this video, make sure you hit the like, subscribe, thumbs up button on the video. Leave a comment down below. Do you think America is at risk because of young people and their inability to serve in the military? This report comes out from the Pentagon, and it reveals that 77% of young Americans cannot qualify to serve in the military, either because of their physical shape, obesity, mental health issues, and drug abuse. And this has created a perfect storm. In this exclusive breakdown, I'm going to reveal what it means for America's future, your personal and national security, and why Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of Defense, is taking drastic action and the controversial changes that could reshape our armed forces forever. The strength of our military is at stake, and you won't believe what is happening right now. Under the previous administration, we saw what happened in our military. We saw how effective military recruitment was with the Biden administration. And they used various recruiting methods that I'm not so sure would have attracted me to join the military. I'm retired from the Navy, just a dumb submarine guy. But I don't believe this would have attracted me to join in the military. Here we have a Navy drag queen. Harpy Daniels is the name of this individual. Active duty sailor, invited to participate in a pilot program targeted at a wider array of potential recruits through digital platforms. China and Russia are laughing at us. I would say the cartels, seeing the military members on the southern border, are laughing at us. United States Navy, you messed up. And I'm glad that we have someone back in charge right now, Donald Trump, Pete Hegseth, that are going to look at this and scratch their head and say, we need to be war fighters. We don't need another episode of MASH with Klinger. And if you remember MASH and Klinger, the whole point of Klinger dressing up as a woman was to prove to Colonel Henry Blake and Colonel Harry Potter that something was wrong with him, that he would be sent back to Toledo, Ohio. Now, here is this being addressed on the world stage with the former Biden administration's press secretary.
Can you, this drag queen recruiting initiative, is that strictly a Navy project? Or are you going to have the other services also get involved? Is there going to be an Army drag queen, Air Force drag queen, that sort of thing? Is it strictly a Navy project?
Well, I would say first, and at the top, just looking at this holistically, we are incredibly proud of those who decide to serve, and that's every young American who decides to serve and to take the oath to put their line on the line in defense of our country. Again, the program I believe that you're referring to was the Navy Digital Ambassador Program, which was a pilot outreach effort. It was not a recruiting effort. For more information on that, I would direct you to the Navy. But this pilot program has concluded, and the Navy is evaluating the program and how it exists in the future.
I have submitted a FOIA request to the Department of the Navy to find out how much they paid this person, Harpy Daniels, because your tax money went to pay for this. Our readiness, our military became weaker because of this. I have not received a response from this FOIA request. Only time will tell. But currently, like I said at the very beginning, 77% of 17 to 24-year-old U.S. males are unable to qualify for military service because they're too fat. And you better start brushing up on Mandarin, is what Dr. Sean Baker says here. because that's exactly who our biggest adversary is, our biggest enemy, potential enemy is. And if you think getting some sleeve tattoos and playing Call of Duty all day is going to prepare you for the military, you've got another thought coming. This is confirmed again. And this is typically what our adversary thinks of us, except in dresses. And I'm so glad to see Pete Hegseth, Donald Trump, putting the war fighter ethos back at the front of the page, on the front line, because that's where these men and women are going to get sent if anything ever happens, or we're going to need them to be sent there. This is the article here from Breitbart. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth orders a force-wide review of fitness and grooming standards. He ordered this on Wednesday, and we're going to take a look at other standards across all major branches, including body composition, grooming, beards, and maybe some of the headgear that people are wearing while they're active duty. And I can't say this happened quick enough. I'm sure many of you, many of my followers are veterans, family members of veterans, patriots. And you want us to get back to doing what we should be doing, the best military in the world. We should be training war fighters to shoot, move, communicate, close the distance to the enemy, and obliterate them. Our southern border has military on it for a reason, because we have a direct threat. And that threat is growing on a daily basis. And if we can't get young men and women to join our military voluntarily, you know what's going to happen. We're going to go back to the Vietnam days if there's ever another conflict. And there's going to be a conscription, or the other big word that nobody likes to hear, the draft. A very famous person, Dylan Mulvaney, is reacting to Donald Trump declaring that there are only two genders. And I'll let you hear what Dylan says. And I can't really say too much because of fear of reprisal. But let's just hear Dylan.
I was so scared that news outlets would take my admission into a mental health facility as a way to paint me and all trans people as psychos who belong in the loony bin.
It resulted in a lot of ideation and dissociation. I'm still battling with some of that guilt and that shame and that dysphoria that was projected onto me during that time. And that was a situation that I wouldn't have wished on my worst enemy now that I've lived through it.
Mulvaney says she never wanted to be an activist, but has found herself navigating a society that's not always supportive of trans rights.
On his first day in office, President Trump signed the order which recognized two sexes, male and female. When you heard that pronouncement, what did you think?
It didn't change any way that I think about myself, because I'm a woman no matter what my passport says. We are not hurting anyone. We're less than 1% of the population.
That's exactly right. Less than 1% of the population. Under the previous administration with President Biden, when he issued an order, you fall in line. And if you didn't, you were called many names, a lot of adjectives. And I believe now the shoe is on the other foot, or the slipper is on the other foot. And I don't care what you do, but I do care about the safety and the national security of the United States. And I don't believe the United States military should be a petri dish for social experiments. I experienced that and witnessed that firsthand back when President Barack Hussein Obama was the president. And I always like to say his full name because everyone forgets his middle name. With that being said, guys, I want to know your opinion. Are you glad to see the military back to being militaristic and not a social experiment, not a Jerry Springer episode? I'm happy to see that. This is the Vet Biker. I'm going to get out of here. I'll see you on the road. Take care.
And can an amen and a boom shakalaka go right there?